All right, first order of business. Just a little week one recap. I thought we had some good games and some bad games.
Some rough games.
I mean,
That is for sure.
we're not gonna point any fingers, but the New York Giants, you get a finger.
You
Um,
get a finger.
but nah, there's some good games. There's a lot of question marks headed into week two. That's for sure, based off those week one games. Um,
Never
uh,
overreact is the thing. That's all you got to
I
remember.
know because you could easily sit up here and be like, yeah, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they suck. The
Yup.
Giants, they suck.
Yup.
But or you can be like, the Eagles are they might stink this year. They're not gonna stink this year. Relax, Joe Burrow.
I was gonna say I'm not
Relax.
gonna say that.
But no, I just thought there was a lot of good games. So happy it's back. I enjoyed my Sunday for the first time in a while. But I also didn't get to watch a lot of the 1 p.m. games because I was too busy rooting on my Colts, who I thought were going to get the upset victory, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, second order of business, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about your New Orleans Saints. We're going to have a little recap for them, and then we'll jump into their week two matchup. But they defeated the
Alrighty.
Titans. That had to have been a doozy to watch. 16-15, not a whole lot of points thrown up on the board, almost losing by a team that only made field goals.
I'm a little worried about Derek Carr. I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm a little worried, but the defense was awesome. Started the game off with a fumble on a kick return from Rashid Shaheed. Defense stops him, kicks a field goal. We come down, kick a field goal, tie it up. Not too worried. Rashid looked awesome. I'm not going to say I saw that coming. But that dude's a baller. I mean, he is fast.
It looks like him and Carr have chemistry off the rip. I mean, there's
like,
a clip
could be a
that came
legit
out
3. Did you see it? Yeah.
where he was like, just run, and I'm going to throw it to you. Like, that's a lot of trust.
There could be a legit, like, 3
Little three-headed
wide
monster.
receiver game. Yeah, like, that's a nice team.
I mean, if Michael Thomas stays healthy, yeah. I mean, they could be a lot of fun to watch on offense.
They've got a great defense, and their division is real bad.
Yeah, their division is competing with the AFC South. It's competing. I know you don't want to think so, but it is. The only thing worries me about the Saints is the same thing that's kind of alarming with like the Colts are not in the same spectrum as the Saints, but the run game.
Colts may be the second best team in the AFC South. They looked good.
They did look good. But
Anthony Richardson's a dog.
I think there's a couple things to take away from the Saints-Titans game. I know you said don't overreact, don't jump too soon, but I'm already jumping on the Tannehill's getting benched here soon.
A lot of people think that he's a trade candidate or he's going to get benched.
I mean, I do have his under for season yards, so I hope he just gets benched. But, I mean, that was 47% completion, under 200 yards, and no tutties, 3 interceptions, though.
Yup.
But, yeah, I mean, you said you're worried about Carr. His stats point that he played pretty well.
That's the thing with Derek Carr. His stats always show he plays better than he really did. He's so frantic. Like in the red zone, he just made bonehead plays. Like he threw a pick that he should not have thrown. He missed open receivers late or early in the game. He played fine. He played good enough to win. It's just not going to do anything for us when we have to play a team like Dallas, a team like the Eagles, a team like the Niners. Like the Saints are clearly a step below, and if he can't hit open receivers or cut out those stupid red zone mistakes, then we have no chance.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it was a big question mark with Derek Carr. Just because, I mean, we talked about it, how we were like questioning whether he was as much better than Andy Dalton as they were proclaiming.
I think he's better.
He is better.
I do think he's better. I think he's better.
New system though, I'm not jumping off the Saints bandwagon.
I'm not off it yet. I like where we're heading. I think we're gonna go 2-0. I'm pretty excited about this game against the Panthers. Bryce Young struggled pretty bad.
Desmond Ridder.
That game was just atrocious to watch. We're not even going to talk about it. It's not worth it.
Right.
But Bryce Young struggled. I don't know if that's necessarily his fault, Rookie mistakes, yeah, but I think his wide receivers are really bad. He's got a really bad offensive line.
Banged up wide receivers too.
It's not good.
No,
Like
it's not.
they're just short manned, and they gave up their first round pick this year so they could draft him. I'm really worried about that dude. Like I really liked Bryce Young coming out, and I don't know if he's gonna be it if he can't keep them.
I mean, one more thing about the Saints, I do think that you gotta think you're getting Alvin Kamara back here. It's gonna be sooner
2
than
weeks.
soon. Yeah, it's gonna be
Comes back
soon.
week 4.
But if they get that run game going, I think Derek Carr is gonna thrive.
I agree.
But let's just move. Going on to week 2, you get to play another or you get to play the division again, and it's wait. You did not play the division last week. We just talked about the Titans. You get to play the Panthers this coming week. You guys are 3.5 point favorites. Over under is a mere 40. What are you looking forward to in this Monday Night Football matchup?
I think the Saints cover. I'm a little worried about the line movement. It started at 1. It's already all the way up to 3.5, potentially 4 as of this afternoon. I haven't checked.
Oh, the fans
I'll pull it
are
up.
in.
I'll pull it up real quick. What'd you say, fans?
Yeah, I mean, do you fade the public?
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like I had a fan going on. I'm like, I don't even have one turned on.
No.
The line's back down to 3. It's 3 at -115 though, so you got to lay some juice. I think it's a good bet.
I think this
think
is a good matchup for him.
I do too. I just don't think the Panthers have the skill right now to stop the Saints defense.
No, and I think their offense is just going to keep clicking. Derek Carr is going to keep figuring it out under this new system. He's going to get more comfortable with Michael Thomas and Olave and I guess Shaheed too. Jawan Johnson. I was kind of surprised though last week Jamal Williams didn't produce as much as I thought he would.
It's Vrabel. Like I truly think Vrabel just likes playing in those dogfight games. I think that's how he likes to coach. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to. He did it all last year after Thanksgiving. They haven't won a game since Thanksgiving. I heard that this morning, which is tough. You got to think about who his quarterback is.
I think he's a good coach.
I think he's a good coach, and I think he always coaches a strong defense. So I'm not too worried about the run game.
Yeah. But what do you – I mean, you obviously think you're going to win. So let's see here. How's the Panthers' run defense?
They gave up 130 yards, I think, to the Falcons, but the Falcons actually gave up more total yards. They gave up more rush yards and pass yards than what the Falcons had on offense. So I don't know if the Falcons' defense is bad, if they were opportunistic, they forced a few turnovers, or if the Falcons' offense is just bad itself. That's the thing. I'm not 100% sure of.
If the defense is as good as we think they are, Bryce Young's in a long day. He's in for a long night.
I would agree.
He might throw another 2 or 3 interceptions. I mean, they were talking about it all.
The Saints dropped 3. The Saints dropped 3 interceptions. Alontae Taylor had 1. Marshawn had 2. He dropped.
I mean,
Paulson ended up getting 1.
That was the big thing for them offseason. They were saying how good the defense is, which was surprising how much better they got with their age also increasing.
I think Dennis Allen's just got control. I think he understands how these players play, and they all like the system.
Hey, it's a good thing. People buying in.
I'm not
That's
gonna
what
complain.
You need. Yep.
Exactly. I'm not going to complain.
That's the biggest thing for a head coach. Is the hardest thing, I think, is getting the locker room to buy in, especially if you're new. I mean,
yep.
I don't know about my situation. I think they all bought in. It looked like it last week, and that's what we'll talk about now. We'll go into the Colts. I don't know how much you watch, but I don't know if it was on one of your 4 televisions, but
it was.
I thought I left the stadium. I felt great.
Yeah,
we lost by 10, and I felt great.
Rightfully so. They were in the game. Their defense was back. They were forcing turnovers. So that's always exciting. I mean, you don't see that very often from the Colts.
I mean,
at least not last year.
If you look at it, you can say the same thing for the Colts, but 2 plays really decided that game late in the game. It was that special teams play from Agnew.
Yep.
I mean, the ball's on him to do that. And then the 4th down conversion late with 8 minutes left to go, conversion to Zay Jones. I mean, that's basically what sealed it. Defense was tired. We throw the pick, have to put the defense back out there. It just wasn't going to end well.
I agree, but they played well. They played hard.
They were,
and I think they really like Richardson.
I think a lot of fans took. I listened to the post game show a lot too, and they were talking about Steichen's fourth down decision making. I don't mind it. You get a young team.
I'm not gonna say it was great.
You're the underdog. I think it's just me being young as I am, and I play Madden. I'm like, go for it.
I agree going for it. I don't think that's the problem. I think
the play calling was
play calling wasn't the best.
Yes, I agree with that. I think
that was the problem.
I think he went for it when he should have went for it, if that makes sense. But I just don't understand these coaches. I mean, you have these athletes at quarterback. You don't have Peyton Manning's or Tom Brady's. Boot them out.
I agree. I don't know why everybody doesn't do the Pat Mahomes play.
I mean,
I don't get it.
It just doesn't make sense. But like I said earlier, run game non-existent besides Richardson. Thankfully, I don't know how much this is going to help. Zach Moss, full participant in practice this week. Don't think it's going to help that much. He's not a very elusive runner. He's more downhill power back, but anything is going to help more than what we did on offense.
I agree.
Richardson needs to learn how to. I don't think the hits he took were that bad. I think the last one that
some of them were pretty bad.
I think
he's just got to go down.
I think the one towards the goal line. I mean,
that was the worst for sure because he got hit in the back.
Yeah, that's the back one. I mean, like it's not like you could assume the guy's coming from your back, so get down, but he couldn't see that one coming.
Yeah,
his competitive nature, he wanted to get in. I mean,
I get fighting for the yards. Like it's not it's not dumb, but it's week 1, and you guys are
hope. We have hope.
4-point underdogs. Just not worth it.
I just noticed on this overlay, I put Jaguars deaf Colts, like they're deaf. No, it's defeated the Colts. But anywho, I do think when I'm watching, I saw Richardson. He performs very well in up tempo offense. At least in this game he did, and in the preseason when we went hurry up, he looked like he was poised and was confident, which is a great thing to see.
He looked good. He looked comfortable.
One of my last two things for this recap. You already said it. The defense looked hungry. I love seeing that. We had Shaq Leonard play a whole game finally. I mean, we paid the guy. Thank God he's out there. Granson looks like a favorite for Richardson.
Yep.
Which I like to see. He's an athletic tight end. Not very tall, but he's got speed. And then Alec Pierce. I mean, biggest thing I said last week was he has to show us something. Showed me nothing. 1 catch, 5 yards. I mean, when Downs is playing better and everything in a new system, rookie, I mean, it does not look good for him.
No, he did not look good. I agree.
But moving on to week 2, another division game. This is if you're Colts and you're not tanking, this is a must-win game. But it's a great matchup for them. Great bounce-back opportunity against the Texans.
I've seen a couple people on the Texans.
I have too.
That kind of worries me. That kind of worries me.
Yes, I agree.
It makes me not want to bet it, but I like the Colts. Like I think the Colts are the better team.
We all know my saying. It's not a Sunday if I'm not betting on the Colts.
Correct.
I didn't bet on them pregame, but when it was like, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I
took a little wager.
I took a nibble on them.
I have heard that I didn't watch any of the Texans game. Was not on one of the screens. I didn't have Red Zone on. But people said Will Anderson, he looks like the real deal. I have heard that.
Just seems undersized.
I think he's just so explosive off the ball that it's hard for the tackles to keep up with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way he's going to be successful.
I think
is if he's got that quick first step and can get around the tackles, then he'll succeed. But if he doesn't have that, he's nothing.
I think that's it.
Because I don't know if can he do well in coverage. I don't know.
He's a D. I mean, I don't know if he's necessarily a.
Because I thought he was a linebacker, not a D lineman.
No, yeah, he's a D lineman.
I didn't know that. See, that's what I'm saying. He's so undersized. I kind of shocked when I saw he was defensive end. But
he's solid though.
I think if the defense shows up like last week, they should have no problems, especially covering the -1.5. Uh, I don't think they're gonna have any trouble on offense. And they say he's not. There's nothing wrong with Richardson. Thank God. They didn't even do any tests or MRIs. It was labeled as a knee bone bruise. So as long as that's okay, I think the Colts will be just fine. But
The last thing I'll have to say about this game is I thought, at least from what I saw, Stroud played pretty well.
he
That
did
he
play
might have
well.
been the best, might have been the second best rookie quarterback behind Richardson. But they said he looked poised and he did, like, he had some, obviously some nervous throws and some growing pains, but like they said he looked comfortable.
He was both our favorites.
Yep.
But yeah, I did forget to mention that Richardson was labeled the least ready quarterback, and he played the best. Granted,
Yep.
I don't know about competition wise, but he did look the best on with his statistics. But we'll move on to the 49ers. They defeated the Steelers 30-7. My question to you is this an example of how good the 49ers are, especially their defense, or were we a little too in, or is everybody too on the bandwagon for the Steelers?
I think the Niners just have a defense like the Cowboys. I mean, that team is flying around the football.
We did see
They are
vintage Christian McCaffrey.
they are electric on the ball. I mean, that team is fast.
Yeah. I mean, that's like you said, it's like the Cowboys. That defense is going
Yeah.
to take
I
them to
mean,
the promised land.
they're tough. I really like watching them play.
It's like I told you with Dak. I mean, you have that defense. At that point, you just got to be a great game manager, and that's what Brock Purdy has to do. If he doesn't turn the ball over, you have Christian McCaffrey behind you, and you have Deebo Samuel, and I guess Brandon Ayuk is gonna explode.
he just sat there and went, yeah, I'll go ahead and throw it to who's ever open because my guys are always open. And there it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it.
Was waiting anxiously for the Patrick Peterson interception like he was calling, but it never happened, and said he got cooked. But yeah, I think at least for the 49ers defense, this is just an exclamation point of what we all already knew is how good their defense was. I mean, they're good. I mean, they're great. They're probably, if I had to rank them right now, they're probably the best team.
The Niners?
Yeah, best team.
I would agree. I think they've got the most talent on both sides of the ball.
I know it's early, and the Eagles might have just been a little lackadaisical, but they didn't show me enough because they are my team that I thought would be the best in the league. But they came out, 49ers, no funny business, no games. They just went out there and punched them right in the mouth.
Did you get to watch any of the Eagles game?
I watched the tail end of it.
They have some players who are hurt. I think that's one of the problems. Lost to starting safety, lost to starting linebacker,
Yeah,
lost to starting corner.
they lost Dean for at least 4 weeks.
Yeah, they're beating a little bit of the injury bug, but last year, I mean, they were the second most healthy team behind the Steelers all year. So it's like you gotta meet somewhere in the middle. You're not just gonna stay the healthiest team for
This
for
is
your
gonna
life.
this is how you show people you are that team.
Yep.
I mean, they still have all that talent on defense, especially on the line.
Their line is really good, and their corners are really good, but their safeties and linebackers are pretty worrisome.
Yeah, losing Gardner Johnson didn't help them much.
No, but I think it was more of a locker room situation. I don't think he got that big of a contract from the Lions. It may have been like $6 million a year.
Right. But we'll move on to one of the talk of the week. Tua and the Dolphins defeat the Chargers 36-34. Tua with an outstanding 466 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Followed with Tyreek Hill with 11 receptions, 215 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Did you expect this from the Miami Dolphins out the gate?
I did not expect this from the Dolphins. I figured their offense would be good,
but not that good.
I don't know, dude. I underestimated Tyreek Hill. That dude is, I mean,
he's bonkers.
As much as I love Justin Jefferson and I was all in, Tyreek might be the best wide receiver in the game. He is a legit field stretcher, and he still beats people deep. You'll see starting safeties line up 20 yards from the line of scrimmage,
I mean,
and
J.C.
he's still
Jackson
getting behind him.
was just getting exploited all night.
Cooked. That dude got cooked.
And didn't he get a bag from the Chargers?
87 mil, 5 years.
He
I think
just
this
got
is year
cooked.
3 of his contract.
But a lot of questions marks going into this season was Tua's ability to throw the deep ball. I think he just proved everyone wrong.
Yeah, he did more than throw
Screen routes.
he did more than throw across the middle, yes.
But does this show you that are they the best team in the AFC East?
As of now, I would say yes. But the thing is, it's not worth overreacting to week 1. They looked the best, but
Right.
they always say you're never as bad as you are week 1, and you're never as good as you are. So we'll have to see.
Yep. And it all comes down to Tua's health.
Yep.
I mean, if he stays healthy and he's on the field, I mean, in that draft class, he has he is proven that he is able to win games. He has higher win percentages than Justin Herbert. So,
yep.
Maybe they didn't mess up if he can stay healthy. Moving on.
Let's hope so.
To the defense of the week. Cowboys. They defeated the Giants a whopping 40-0. Big takeaway. No one on offense. And no anybody in particular at defense I'm going to note, but that defense in a whole 7 sacks, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 touchdowns.
I heard this insane stat today about how good Micah Parsons is and how good their rushing attack around him is. He got doubled 13 times our Sunday night. On 10 of those, they got quarterback hits, and on 6 of those, they had their sacks.
Yeah, I mean,
that you
can't double them because the rest of their D line's just as good, or not just as good, but they're efficient as well.
It's talented enough, yes. It's talented enough to make the plays.
I mean, and then they got a steal with Stephon Gilmore from the Colts, and then have already Diggs, and their linebackers are solid. I mean, their defense is this is the 49ers just in different jerseys.
Yep.
But
they're the best 2 defenses by far in the league.
Absolutely. No questions about it. Can't say I can expect this week in and week out from the Cowboys. I mean, that was just a dominant performance. But Micah Parsons, speaking of him, he did come out and you could tell he was frustrated with a lot of football fans calling out Daniel Jones saying he's awful. He did not like that.
Yeah, I mean, what's Daniel Jones supposed to do? Like, why? I don't know why he's still out there in a game like that. Like, there's just no reasoning behind it.
I would have took him out at halftime.
Yeah, they had no chance of coming back. It was bad weather. The defense was fast. The Giants just did not look ready.
No, and I mean, when you have Jalen Hyatt dropping balls, Darren Waller's not 100%. I don't even think I saw Paris Campbell even on the field.
He was on the field. He just didn't do much.
But they have a lot to figure out, and they have a lot of question marks going into week 2. I mean, you can't have your quarterback getting sacked 7 times, let alone getting hit or rushed every week. I mean, it's looking like the Colts last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's not much to talk about the Cowboys except how great their defense is and how much, as boring as the game is, because yes, 40 points were scored, but it was all scored by one team. But I mean, it was fun to watch a great defense at work. I mean, no one had to have expected the Cowboys to come out and absolutely thump them. I knew they would come out and make a statement, but not like that.
You knew within the first 10 minutes the game was over. Like the first 10 real live minutes.
Shit.
Wasn't it a defensive touchdown and then 3 plays later another defensive touchdown?
Well, first touchdown was a blocked field goal.
Yeah, that's defense special teams. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just say that because they beat me in fantasy.
Same. Dak, I mean, like we already talked about, Dak didn't have to do anything. And as a quarterback, as much as you want to put up stats, you have to love that.
Yeah.
No pressure, nothing to worry about. Your defense has got your back. I mean, you can't rely on it, like I said, week in, week out. Dak still has to be ready to go every week. Can't have any of those 3 interception games. But we'll move on to the biggest disappointment. Joe Burrow, after freshly signing his new deal, comes out and lays an absolute egg. 14 for 31, 82 yards, and a 24-3 ass whooping from the Browns.
I gotta say, I'm shocked.
I I am shocked, and then I heard the stat this week that he's now 1-5 against the Browns.
And he does not. They never start the season well.
No, I
Remember
know.
they lost it. They
Yep,
lost to Cooper Rush. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
last year.
They lost to the Steelers. I mean, that's just the
Last
Bengals.
year.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's just the Bengals. They don't play Joe Burrow in the preseason, so the first couple weeks are him getting back to normal.
That's exactly what I said. I was saying that they never start out hot. They always have to get a little ass whooping or a little kick in the arse to get
Yep,
going.
get their rhythm back.
Don't think he's 100%. Not even close.
I don't know if it was that. I don't. Did you see the game? I mean, it was pretty bad weather all day.
Yeah, I was watching
Their offensive
highlights,
line.
and you see a lot of quarterbacks you see explode off that back leg, and he looked like he was not gonna try to push too hard off that back leg to make those throws. So I didn't. That was my takeaway from watching the highlights, at least. But I
I
mean,
didn't notice too much with the legs. I noticed more of their offensive line couldn't block anybody.
no.
Miles Garrett's over there crossing people
I
up,
was getting ready to say. I mean,
going between the legs
if you
in
are
the
a
middle of a
quarterback
game.
and you see this giant human being who is a freak of nature in front of you doing dribble basketball moves, I mean, I'm calling a timeout and getting the fuck off the field.
Exactly.
It's like that. It's like that one longest yard clip with Adam Sandler, and he's like, he's getting ready, he's doing his cadence, and he points at who I don't know who he points at, but he goes, "You're a psycho," and then, I mean, that's what that. I mean, dude, that's when you know you're just getting walloped on, and you can do anything you want.
That dude had all the confidence in the world. I mean, he's sitting there dribbling between his legs saying, I'm still going to cook your ass.
Right. I mean, that's
Fucking
just
wild.
absurd. I mean, nobody should ever write off Joe Burrow. I mean, this is just a hiccup in the road. Next week he'll probably throw for 3 touchdowns. Will they win? I don't know, but he's fine.
It's going to be a
The
great
Bengals
game on
are
Sunday.
fine.
I'm really excited.
Yes, he's fine. The Bengals are fine. Jamar
Yeah.
Chase is fine. T. Higgins is fine. They're all gonna be fine. Joe Mixon, I don't know.
I think that just depends on their offensive line.
Right, and then they released Lyle Collins this week, so.
Yes, you said that. You said that this morning. I don't know how impactful that's going to be.
Because
We'll
they
have to
did.
see.
I mean, Orlando
They
Brown
signed
looked like he
Orlando Brown,
never
yeah.
played football before, apparently.
He's never been a great pass blocker though, and I think that was the problem. Is like he's an elite run blocker. Just Miles Garrett kind of ate his lunch.
Move on to the offensive team of the week. We have at quarterback Tua. Or he gave you the stats: 466, 3-1. Just an all-out performance from him. And clearly the best quarterback last week.
Yep.
Running back, you could have put a couple people. You could put CMC here. You could have put a couple people, but I think Aaron Jones had probably the most impact for his given team.
I agree. I think he made Jordan Love's life a lot easier.
Right.
That second half, they came out and they looked some. I mean, they scored on 3 straight drives. They put Aaron Jones in mismatches. I don't understand their obsession with A.J. Dillon. I never will. The dude never produces, even when he gets the opportunity. It's so clear that Aaron Jones is better.
Night and day.
No, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know if Aaron Jones says, I want you guys to play A.J. Dillon so I don't have to play every snap. But because I don't see it. I don't see A.J. Dillon ever doing anything that Aaron Jones does.
But yeah.
He can't block. He can't catch. And he runs into the offensive line.
He's just a big body out there.
Yep.
He went.
That's it.
Aaron Jones 9 attempts, 41 yards, 1 touchdown, followed with 2 receptions, 86 yards, and a touchdown and a pulled hammy. Hopefully he's okay. I need him. But wide receiver 1, we already talked about him. Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, 215 and 2. Wide receiver number 2 was Brandon Ayuk with 8 catches, 129 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Probably the biggest surprise of week 1.
I agree.
Tight end Hayden. Not a lot happened for the tight ends last week.
Tight ends.
I mean, that was brutal.
Bad. I think only 2 of them scored in double digits in fantasy.
I think Hayden Hurst and Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I think they were awful.
That means going forward, you guys are going to see a lot of Travis Kelce in that spot.
Yep.
And then the O-line, you could have went with a couple O-lines, but I think we decided on the Philadelphia Eagles O-line.
I think they're the best offensive line in the league, and they put up a good game against the Pats. They could have played better, but until they really have a game where they don't look like it, I'm gonna keep going with them.
I apologize. I have my fat face still on the screen. Soft, so you can.
What'd you say?
I have my face still blocking the team of the week, so I'm gonna give it a second here, and we'll move on to the defensive side. I had obviously the Cowboys for the D line.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
easy
just
there.
not even. Yeah, it's not even close.
At cornerback, I had at the first quarterback spot, I had Darius Slay, 3 tackles, 1 interception, 3 pass deflections, and a pick 6. And the other side, I have Stephon Gilmore with 4 tackles, an interception, and 3 pass deflections.
I think those are fair. I think Slay's interception, as bad as the throw was by Mac Jones and as poor as his effort was, it was very impactful
Dude, that
early on in
tackle
the
effort.
game. I mean, I was shocked he didn't get pulled after it. How poor that effort was.
Safety, I had Jordan Whitehead. I mean,
3 picks.
3 picks, 3 pass deflections.
Yeah, you can't argue too much there. I don't understand Josh Allen's decision making, but he makes a lot of money, so I'm not gonna do it.
At linebacker 1, I have Josh Allen for the Jaguars, 10 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks.
Yep.
And then at the other spot, Zaire Franklin for the Colts, 18 tackles, 1 pass deflection, and 1 forced fumble.
God, 18 pass or tackles. Dang.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
He was all over the field. I just didn't realize he was that all over the field.
Yep. And we'll move on to the topic of the week. A lot of controversy going forward, I guarantee it, is artificial turf. As everyone knows, and everyone will be reminded from this point going forward throughout the whole year, Aaron Rodgers is going to miss the remainder of the season with a torn Achilles. The only way artificial turf ever goes away is if every NFL player decides to not show up for the season. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, they already came out with the stats saying that artificial turf, especially for Achilles, shows no difference from grass to turf in the past 8 years.
If players say there's a difference,
I mean,
why
they
wouldn't
know.
you?
They play on
That's
it.
what I'm saying. They know. They play. Like, that's what I don't understand.
I don't know. I mean, I understand probably why the owners don't do it. Maybe they don't want to spend the extra money for maintenance. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's got to be because of those teams like the Chargers and the because I think there's 5 fields that are artificial turf. Is that right?
I think the Colts are one of them, right?
I think it's the Giants, the Giant Stadium, Meadowlands, the SoFi Stadium, the Colts. I believe the Saints have turf. I might be wrong on that.
And it seems like every injury happens in New York.
That's I think the problem. Yeah, so it's the Saints, the Jets, the Seahawks, the Titans have turf. I thought theirs was grass.
I would have thought it was grass, being outdoors and everything. I don't know. Thought that would have been the only one.
Well, I thought when you see it in the game, oh wow, there's a lot of teams that have turf.
Yeah, but there's a difference. Is it artificial or is it? There's grass turf too.
It says right here how many teams have artificial turf. 30 NFL stadiums, and it's split 50-50 between turf and grass.
Oh.
There are 15 stadiums that use artificial for their fields. With the Chargers, Giants, Jets sharing home fields, there's 17 teams that play on turf. Wow, that seems like a lot.
Now, I'm not going to compare myself to the likes of J.K. Dobbins or Aaron Rodgers because I was a blocking wide receiver. But I never once felt like my foot was sticking in the turf.
I don't think we're as elite of athletes.
Okay, I didn't know. I was just trying to make a point here, but like I was like, this is gonna get thrown under the rug pretty fast because
my brother and his best friend who both played college football at a lower level NAIA/Division II, they both said they like turf better than grass. I'm like, yeah, but you guys aren't playing on well-kept grass fields. I think it's different if you're playing on real grass that's cared for 24/7.
Right.
Soft. It's way softer. You can keep your foot. You can stick your foot in the ground. You wear different spikes. Like, I think there's a big difference between real grass and grass that's not kept up with. I mean, you see it in the soccer players. They straight up told FIFA, we're not going to play in these stadiums if they don't put grass in. And what are they doing? Putting grass in. So they can do it. They're
Yeah,
just choosing not to.
Michael, what would it take though? Like,
I don't
a
think.
strike?
I don't think. What would it take? Yeah, I think it would have to be. I would think it would have to be a strike from the Players Association.
Right. Man, that's the only way. No, I mean, unless like New York convinces the Giants to deal with it too, they're like, dude, we just lost our franchise quarterback to this shit. We're getting rid of it. But I don't know. It's gonna be it's been a topic for what, the past couple years now. Probably
It's been since that year when Joey
OBJ.
Bosa and all them got hurt. Yeah. Well, not even. I would say even before OBJ. There was that year that Joey Bosa and like 4 Niners players got hurt in the span of 2 weeks because they played the Giants and Jets back to back.
I mean, there's maybe that field's just cursed. I don't know.
Could be.
It's just wild that whenever you're like, oh man, so someone says, okay, someone tore like their ACL or their Achilles, and then they're like, who was it? They're playing always at New York. I'm like, something's got to be investigated here.
Something's
Something's reaching through the turf and grabbing their foot or something. I don't get it.
You're probably right.
Sterling Shepard, I mean, he's probably the advocate, the poster child for this, but we'll move on. It's going to be a topic for years to come until it gets changed. So
I agree.
Chris Jones, we all saw that he got his new not really extension. He got his current contract for his last year restructured
with an extra bonus, basically. Correct. Extra money.
He maintains his base salary of $19.5 million, but can earn up to like a little over $6 million more in incentives, and the incentives are kind of wild. I've never heard of these. I mean, you heard of playing time, but not percent of snaps. So like he gets an extra $1 million for playing 35% of the snaps.
Oh wow, that's kind of cool.
Another $1 million for 50%.
Good for him. He'll be playing those.
Another $1.25 million for 10 sacks, $500K for 15 sacks. Additionally, $1 million.
That's a lot of incentives right there.
Another $1 million for first team All Pro and a Super Bowl appearance.
Okay.
$2 million for Defensive Player of the Year and Super Bowl win.
All right, well, we'll be rooting you on, Chris Jones. Go get your money.
The big thing for him in this contract, I would say, they were all talking about this allows them to franchise tag now next year.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the tag, did you see the tag? What it would
be?
For the
D tackles? No, I haven't seen.
$32.4 million.
All right, that's a lot.
It's a lot of money. I want to know what he was wanting long term. Was it like something like that? Who's making that much money?
He definitely wants 30 mil.
Is it Aaron Donald?
Yeah, Aaron Donald's the only one I can think of who is making that much.
Because isn't it the average of the top 5 at the position?
I can't remember if it's top 5, top 10, how it works.
Because 32 seems outrageous.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this was reported by Rappaport, so.
Well, he knows his stuff.
He does know his stuff, but good for the Chiefs, good for Chris Jones. It's going to help their team out drastically, especially on defense, even though I do think their D-line played pretty well on Thursday night.
They looked competent, that's for sure. Their defense looked better than expected.
They had that undersized defensive tackle, and he was kind of dominating.
They're fast. They play hard. That's the best thing I like about them.
He's unreal. He's arguably the best defensive tackle in the game, so I'm excited to see what he can do this year for them. I mean, he's obviously going to do something, but and they get Travis Kelce back this week too, so Chiefs should be back in motion. We'll move on to the Bills and Jets. Basically, this is the topic because I want to talk about the Bills. Wilson, we all know, not the greatest of quarterbacks in my opinion. 14-21 though, 140 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, followed with Allen going 29 for 41, 236, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Not a great showing for the Bills. Seems like Josh Allen continues to have, especially these kind of games where he forces the ball and ends up costing the Bills a potential win.
I don't know why he tries to play like Superman every single play. Just take what they give you.
My biggest thing for him is always it was never the interceptions because he was like second last year with 14. I don't think 14 is insanely high to me, in my opinion. But he just takes hit after hit after hit after hit.
He's a bonehead.
I mean, props to his body for being able to take all that. I mean, this dude's hurdling, and he's a quarterback. You're the face of the franchise. You go down, you're done for.
That's what worries me about Richardson.
Yeah. I think, well, back on that, Trevor Lawrence, did you see what he said after the game?
No.
He said they met at the midfield and shook hands. He was like, you played hell of a game. You're going to be a great player in this league.
Good to hear.
He says, be smart.
I did
Stop
hear him
taking
say
the
that.
hits.
I did hear him say that.
It's the same thing with Andrew Luck. I don't need that.
That's all I'm saying. Just don't take dumb hits.
And that's what we might see with Burrow. And that's unintentional hits. That's just getting hit in the pocket. But I think we're about to see what the Bills are made of next week. I mean, if they don't come out and just put it on them, or at least have a great game from Josh Allen, this could be a long year for him.
He just needs to play mistake-free.
Like you said, take what they're giving you. It's the same advice that Peyton Manning gave a rookie on Sunday. Just take what they're giving you and move on.
Yep. That's all they got to do.
I mean, you had the game in the bag. You're winning 13
That's what I'm saying.
13-6 in the fourth quarter, and you wanted to force feed balls. It's not
so frustrating.
You have weapons. James Cook, I think he's going to be great out of the backfield if they can use him correctly. Dalton Kincaid's promising physical attributes I'd love to have Dalton Kincaid. Stephon Diggs, obviously, that's probably who he's forcing the ball to.
Yeah, he did throw 2 interceptions, I think, Stephon's way.
And then Gabe Davis is supposed to be good. I mean,
I'm not in on our Gabe Davis.
I'm not either, but kind of hard to be not in at all when he has those 1 games, when he has 3 touchdowns. Like, give him some flowers, not the whole bouquet, but just a couple. But no, I'm not a Bills fan, not really a Bills supporter, but for Josh Allen, I hope this doesn't get in his head and ruins him going forward. I hope it doesn't get in Stephon Diggs' head.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping he just keeps his cool.
I hope Stephon Diggs just stays happy, because if they lose him, you might as well
I need him for fantasy.
Because we're starting to see some bad blood over in Minnesota. With
JJ, I know.
You saw that interview?
Yeah, he did not look happy.
Not happy at all. Sounds like he wants out. Well, he didn't get his extension in the offseason like he wanted, and you know how everyone is on their extensions. JT. But, yeah, Jets had no business winning that game with Rodgers leaving in the first 4 plays of the game. Should have been a blowout. Well, not a blowout. The Jets defense is legit. But they should have never been in a situation to lose. Should never been in overtime. I mean,
that's the thing, is they should not have been there.
I'm going to give a round of applause to Garrett Wilson. He won that game.
That dude, he's insane.
He had the potential to be a top 5 wide receiver this year.
Oh God,
he'll still be fine.
He literally played defense and still was good enough to catch the ball.
I know. He said I was blocking him so he couldn't catch it, and then he caught it.
It's insane.
No, but
he's so special.
Jets fans, I feel for you guys. Trust me. As a Colts fan, I've watched 8 quarterbacks come through that tunnel to start a game every season. So it's tough, but at least you get to watch Zach Wilson and maybe Tom Brady.
There you go.
Yeah. You see Colin Kaepernick?
Shut the fuck up. We're not worrying about it.
That dude needs to get sorry if this pisses anyone off, but he just needs to give it up.
I think they're taking Phillip Rivers.
If I was him, and the best one available, logically, excluding Tom Brady, is Carson Wentz, the list that they provided. And he's better than Zach Wilson.
That I agree with.
But that's about it for that Monday night thriller. We'll move on to the top 4 people to watch for week 2, I had Joe Burrow on for a bounce back performance. I'm looking for Joe Burrow to come out and show us the one that finished the year last year rather than what he was in week 1. I think he'll come out, have a great game, plays another division team, so he's got to be on his A game. You can't go start the year 0-2 in your division, so I'm expecting Joe Burrow to have a bounce back game. Your one of yours was Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I'm really really excited to watch Tyreek Hill this weekend
You more
against
excited
that.
to see him play, or more excited to see if he can reproduce what he produced week 1?
I don't expect him to do another 215 yards, but this Pats defense has done a pretty. Tua kind of owns them, but that Christian Gonzalez kid for the Pats,
He's good.
he looks nice. Like
He's
that kid
legit.
looks real nice. And if he's playing well, I think I think the Patriots could put some trouble into the Dolphins. I'm excited to watch that game, and I'm happy it's Sunday Night Football.
I love Tyreek Hill.
He's so much fun to watch. Just so much fun.
I was a little nervous when they came out and said he had an assault charge pending. I was like, oh no, can't lose him in fantasy. I'm doomed. But my next person to watch, I put Chris Jones.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good pick. I like that.
He is their defense, their leader on defense, and I mean, how many D tackles besides Aaron Donald get 17 sacks a season? Not many.
I can't think of any. I
But,
can't.
I mean, he's going to prevent the run game. I mean, the Detroit Lions went ahead on a rushing touchdown. I think he's just going to be a force. Who do they play again?
The Chiefs, they play the Jags. Apparently,
Okay.
it's supposed to be pretty bad weather.
It's going to be a good game. Really good game.
I'm excited.
2 good offenses at work, and 2 good defenses. I wouldn't say great. I do think the Chiefs defense has gotten a lot better. I like that Nick Bolton kid. But
Yeah, Nick Bolton's I like him. He's a baller.
and our last one and your second one was Rashid Shaheed.
Oh yeah, I'm really excited to watch Rashid. Is he going to be able to do it twice? I'm kind of buying.
I do think he's number 2.
Yeah, I'm kind of buying. That kid's kind of nice. He's fast. He's tall. He runs decent routes. He's a special teamer. He's good on the reverses.
If Michael
I think
Thomas
that guy's
gets
just a
hurt,
gamer.
that kid's gonna be exploding.
I know. I picked him up in a couple fantasy leagues to try it out. I'm really excited about him. I really am. To say he's my favorite player to watch this weekend, I'm not going to say that, but I want to see if he can put up numbers similar to what he did in week 1.
Yep. I think those are a lot of people's top 4 people to watch. I think the Chris Jones one was a little hidden gem, but I do think I'm interested to see what he brings. Fresh off the off season. I don't know if he's gonna be rusty or not. I don't know what he's been doing, but they definitely need him. So moving on to the predictions. We're doing the same thing we did last week. We'll start off by going through the week 2 schedule, predicting who's gonna win, and then we'll go into looking at the slate.
We'll need to keep track of this. We should have kept track for
I
week
did
1.
week
We can
1.
do that going forward.
We went 8-8.
Okay.
Not great, but
not great.
Not awful.
We missed some pretty easy ones that we should have won. We should have won the Bills one.
We should have known to stay away from the Bengals.
Yeah, I agree. I was just buying into he just got a giant
Deal.
giant contract, so I was expecting him to be good,
and
but
then
I get it.
The Vikings doing Vikings things, I mean.
Yeah. Again, and then we should have won the Chiefs one too. Realistically, if they don't have 5 drops and one of them's a pick 6, we win that one. So realistically, we were 3 plays away from being 11-6. Right. It happens, but that's football.
But we'll get started with Eagles Vikings Thursday Night Football.
Me, I think the fight.
Eagles.
You see the Vikings?
Eagles.
Sorry, that's what I meant. I was like, at first I was like, yeah, me too, and then I'm like, wait, Eagles.
Yeah. I was looking at the Vikings logo and I just said it. But yeah, I'm in on the Eagles. That's my team.
Even with the injuries, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, about to see what Darius Slay. That's gonna be a great matchup, like it was last year when Slay shut him down. But
Yeah, I'm excited. I didn't realize that the Eagles defense traveled. I completely forgot about that.
Then we got Ravens, Bengals.
It's in Cincinnati, right?
I believe so. I'm interested. Does J.K. Dobbins going down? Is that gonna affect this game?
In my opinion, I think it does.
I mean, both quarterbacks did not play well week 1.
No, but is that due to the weather? I don't know.
I'm leaning towards the Bengals. Now,
I
I
I
might
like
regret that.
I like the Bengals more too personally. Like I just they're my Super Bowl team, so I'm not gonna fade them yet. But they are it. I'm not gonna say what's their names looked great either.
I mean, that division, besides the Browns, and that's just because they played the Bengals, they didn't impress me too much.
No, I agree.
But we'll move on to the Seahawks Lions game.
Yep.
Wait, isn't that Ravens Bengals game? Is that the game? Is that the first overseas game?
Is it? Are they already playing overseas?
No. Check.
Ravens Bengals.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was like, that's really early. I feel like I would have seen that by now.
Yeah. Okay. Just for some reason that made me think. But Seahawks Lions. Seahawks are kind of concerning me after that performance when you get loud.
Also concerning.
Tutu Atwell and Puka, whatever his last name is, never heard of him. Nakua, they combined for basically 250.
I would say Lions.
I will agree. You know I'm in on those Detroit Lions. I'm in on my Dan Campbell. He's got
I think it's the right pick.
huge balls.
Sometimes it's not the smartest decision.
It is not.
Is whose balls.
No, it's not. I always laugh at
That's all I gotta say.
the Randy Marsh memes. They're hilarious. I saw 2 the other day. One was Dan Campbell's face on Randy when he's wheeling his
nuts in the fucking
wheelbarrow
testicles episode. Yes.
And then the other one was
smoking weed in front of a cap.
The other one was when he's I think they're in like a camp or whatever. He goes in to use the computer because he wants to,
Oh no!
And it was every
when they run out of internet.
Every Miami Dolphins fan after week 1.
That is too fucking funny.
But Colts Texans. Go with your gut here.
I'm saying Colts.
That's what I'm thinking too. It wouldn't surprise me if we lost though.
I agree, but I think the Colts are a better team.
Great. I agree. God, good luck predicting this one. I can't either. I think I know who I want to take, but Bears, Tampa Bay.
As much as I love Jay Fields, I think you have to say Tampa Bay.
That's what I was thinking too. Baker looked okay.
Did you see that? Did you see Rashad White after the game said Baker was stealing signals?
Yeah, I did.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, because Pat McAfee was talking about it, and he goes, Baker Mayfield doing this? This is not a Baker Mayfield thing to do.
Are you kidding me? It's the total Baker thing to do.
But for him to do it and then actually capitalize on top of it.
That's fair.
And then I like the clip of him stiff arming that one guy, and he's like, "Get your weight up, boy."
He's talking shit.
But next one we have is Chiefs-Jags. Great game.
I say Chiefs.
I do too. If Travis Kelce's 100%.
And even if it's the weather, I'm still saying the Chiefs. I think they have a better offensive line.
Packers Falcons. I think Packers.
I agree. Ride the pack, baby.
Raiders Bills has to be a bounce back game for the Bills.
I agree.
Now the Raiders do want to give their flowers too. I mean, only allowing the Denver Broncos to have 6 offensive series is quite impressive. I mean, that's sustaining drives, and that's what you have to do against good teams. What?
Sorry, I was reading something. What'd you say?
I said, Jesus. I said I do have to credit the Raiders for only allowing Russell Wilson and the Broncos to have 6 offensive series. I mean, that's sustaining drives.
if what's his name, Jacoby Myers isn't healthy, which he should not be, that dude looked like he about died.
Dude, yeah. If he
They
plays,
should, they should not be able to control the ball the way they did.
right. I'm gonna go with the Bills too. Chargers, Titans.
I say L.A.
I do too. 49ers, Rams.
49ers.
There's just no way that is repeating itself.
I don't know if they're gonna cover the 8.5, but 49ers.
Correct. Giants, Cardinals. I mean, unless the Giants just had a bad week one, we're in for a shit show.
Giants.
I agree. Saquon Barkley staring down the barrel of not hitting his incentives already.
He'll be fine. I'm not too worried.
We got the Jets, Cowboys. Surprising this line's as low as it is at home.
It's 9.5 now, isn't it?
Oh, I saw like 7. That was earlier.
It's 9.5.
Teaser.
I would say Cowboys. Yeah, it's a teaser, but I would say Cowboys.
Cowboys, yep. Commanders, Broncos. This is a good bad game. I think Judy's back.
Is it in Denver?
Correct.
I have to say Denver.
I think Judy's back.
I have to say Denver then if he's back.
Dolphins.
I have to.
Dolphins, Patriots.
We can't just go straight chalk. I'm saying the Pats.
Oh, wow.
I'm saying the Pats.
Saying the Pats?
I'm saying the Pats. You can. It's your pod. You override, but I'm saying the Pats.
I mean, they played great. They might have lost.
I know.
I mean, but that's like a Colts effect. If you're leaving that stadium, you feel great.
I think they played well.
Imagine having like a
them.
good quarterback. I mean, my gut, if on paper, my gut looks at both teams on paper. I'm like, there's just no fucking shot. But it's in Foxborough.
It's Sunday Night Football.
I don't like taking betting against Bill Belichick. I'm gonna ride with your take, but
all right,
it wouldn't surprise me if the Dolphins. We
just can't go chalk the entire time. Is the problem? We got to pick a couple underdogs.
It would not surprise me if the Dolphins just came out and just opened up a can of whoop ass.
I also agree. They kind of own the Pats.
Saints, Panthers. We already talked about this.
I would say New Orleans.
Yeah. And then another division game, Browns, Steelers. I'm kind of in on the Browns right now.
You're probably right. I would like to say the Steelers. That's where my heart wants to go, but I'll probably say the
Losing
Browns.
Deontay Johnson does not help their case.
That really hurt.
Because it's not like they have
a Travis
healthy,
Kelce. I think it's different. Yeah, if he's healthy, I think it's different.
Correct. But yeah, that's the week 2 predictions. Hoping to do a little better than 8-8. Did we really just bet all favorites?
Except for the Pats.
Oh wow!
I think we picked all favorites. That's the only thing that worries me.
I think the lines are kind of
they're 5.5 point favorites. It's kind of it may even be higher now.
I think the lines though for this week are, we're at to look at them, but I think they're very nice.
There's some money out there. There's some money to win.
Hit the wrong button.
What'd you say? Your mic's cutting out.
Pulling up the good old FanDuel here.
Uh-oh.
So, here we go. Looking at it, what are your favorites?
Saints -3. Packers -1.5. Those are my 2 favorites.
Packers -1.5. Saints -3. Okay. Those are your only 2 favorites?
Yeah, I would just stick with 2.
Okay. Mine would be, I also agree with the Packers. I think that line is scrumptious. Packers have a pretty good run defense, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Kind of concerning for Desmond Ridder.
I hate that dude.
And then my other one, I'm going with the Colts.
I like it.
I don't
It's the right pick.
I don't see how if they must know something because I feel like that line's too low. I mean, it's on the road, but we do
I
own
agree.
the Texans in Houston.
I agree with you.
But as always, we do like to build a 3-team teaser. It would have, based off what we did last week, did not win. Granted, I faded the Vikings because
we both did.
I saw the line moving down a lot and it scared me, and rightfully so. But
this week, I wonder if we do a 7-point tease.
Oh, real quick, Eagles line moved down to 6.5.
I saw that.
Can't take.
We do a 7-point tease at plus 120, or 7-point tease 3 teams plus 120. I think that should be our play.
I agree. So let's look.
I've got him. It's a 4:00 window. That's who I like.
All right, let's run yours real quick.
Niners, Giants, Cowboys. 3-team tease pays plus 120.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So no. All right. I can't disagree. For a 4:00 window, absolutely. It's trying to do a little 1:00 window. That's how I like to do it.
We're doing a tease in the 1:00 window.
Probably not. The spreads are all too low for it.
We could do the Bills for 7. Put the Ravens in there and get them to plus 10. You could potentially do the Jags if you wanted to get to plus 10.5, or you could do the
just do the Colts and just get them at fucking plus 6.
That's a good point. You could get the Lions and bring them basically down to even. Just they have to win.
The Lions, yep.
So if we pick, what would we say are our top 3 legs?
Bills, Colts, Lions, probably.
I like it.
Ravens, I don't know why you said that. I was like, plus 10. I mean, there's no way the Ravens lose by 10. But how pissed off is Joe Burrow right now?
That's what I'm hoping for. Let's go Bengals.
But, yeah, I mean, I doubt there's any. I mean, Thursday night props. I mean, you can look at them real quick, but I doubt there's anything.
I like Addison.
What's his line at?
39.5.
That is pretty nice because if Slay does what he does last year, he's gonna have to go deep. A lot of people like Hawkinson this week.
The Eagles are out without linebackers and safeties. I like the play. I like Goddard to score a touchdown.
What'd you say Addison's line was?
39.5.
Already up to 42.5.
That means a lot of people have been playing it.
Rushing props. No DeAndre Swift prop out. Yeah, we do know Gainwell's out.
My buddy got him first touchdown score at like plus 950 or something before the news came out.
Let's see what it is right now. Plus 145.
That's just any time.
Oh, you said first touchdown?
Yeah.
Let's see what it is. Plus 1,000 right now.
So it was probably higher than. I can't remember what it was.
I'm not a big prop guy anymore.
I think it just depends. I think it just depends on what you're doing.
If I'm doing NBA, I like props more than NFL.
I think it depends on like catches and stuff like that. Like I did Dalton Kincaid over 2.5 catches. Like that was a lock.
Did that hit?
Yeah.
I also
he had 3 in the first half.
I wanted to do it, but I was like, because if the
Jets
would have won and Dalton Kincaid didn't get it, I would have been so mad. Because I had a weekend. Looking at the receptions right now, yeah, a lot of people are liking anything TJ Hawkinson prop, like his yards, catches. Catches are a little high for a tight end, in my opinion, 4.5, but it's minus 186.
I've heard they like Dallas Goedert too. That's what I'm seeing.
This is 4.5 at minus 106. Are we about to see a Devonta Smith explosion here?
I hope.
Over AJ Brown?
I hope both have a great year. I hope Jalen Hurts just breaks records and wins the MVP.
Yeah. Let's see. last one I have is we can look at the fantasy real quick if you want.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Hopefully it's on this computer. It is. Change leagues real quick. We did go 1-0. We did win last week.
Shout out, baby. Let's go, Sam Laporta.
Sam Laporta did replace Travis Kelce, who did not play. We did unfortunately play Cam Akers.
Kyron Williams, you dick.
I mean, it's not even Kyron Williams. The dude got 22 rushing attempts.
That's fair.
Had 29 yards. Little disappointed in DJ Moore. Well, or am I more disappointed in Justin Fields? But
I think I'm most disappointing in their play calling.
That too. A lot of people. I mean, I've heard every excuse in the book.
Oh no, Aaron Jones doesn't look like he's gonna play.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, he's projected 0 on one of my leagues.
Non-participant on Wednesday.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. We do have Javonte, who looks like he was in line for a good workload. He went 13 for 52 with 4 catches. Or no.
I think as the season goes along, he's going to be getting some reps.
But yeah, we'll get line right now. We're projected to win by 9. I think this is the league I have that does not have his kicker in, which is like 12 extra points. So we are by.
I like seeing the projected win.
That is also with Aaron Jones currently receiving 11 points right now.
I think we'll be fine.
I do, as of right now, the starting lineup is Anthony Richardson, Amon-Ra, I love him, DJ Moore, Aaron Jones, Javonte, Travis Kelce, and Jordan Addison. Do have Dameon Pierce on the bench because I don't know if I like his matchup with the Colts with Buckner and
I don't like the matchup.
Grover Stewart manning the middle.
Yeah, I don't like the matchup very much.
Didn't do much in any of my leagues on the waiver, which I kind of regret because I should have went out and picked up Josh Kelly. Did not know he had the game he did.
Eckler left the game. That was the problem.
Yeah, because he had 16 carries for like 90 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, Eckler left the game.
But Deontay Johnson, doubtful. Does not help.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah, we're cooling. We're fine. Anthony Richardson he's going to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Calling it now.
You ain't wrong.
How many did he have in this league? 20, almost 22 points. That's with an interception.
We love that.
But yeah, projected to win. So didn't do much on the waiver. Just put in Javonte and Jordan Addison and Travis Kelce. We do have Travis back, so thank God.
Let's go. Come on, get a W.
Going over to 2-0 when we got a draft grade of a D- would be elite.
Suck one, Yahoo.
But yep, that is all I have for this episode.
Love it.
So, kind of forgot to switch the overlay to my epic face of me substituting Bill Belichick's face.
For the coach?
Yes. But, yeah, that's going to do it.
You can put me on Steve. You can put me on Steve Belichick.
Doing the lick thing that he does?
Yep.
No, but it wasn't too long. Just a little over an hour, so.
Oh, that's not bad.
I was expecting a lot longer. We went through 12 topics, 12 topics, something like that.
Maybe let's not have 15 topics next week.
Yeah, let's just not do that. Maybe you make the topics and I'll just add them in here.
I'm not worried about making the topics. Just send them over and then we can decide what we want to talk about.
Absolutely. Maybe next week we'll try to dabble in some top plays.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Because Garrett Wilson is definitely number 1.
Yes, he was. Because that was absurd.
I mean, that was legit insane.
But that's all I have. And as always, it was a pleasure talking ball.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy.
You heading off?